In this episode, we'll be sharing why physical distance is killing your Christian marriage and how to reconnect tonight. Are you tired of your marriage not growing? You're not alone. Welcome to Why Your Marriage Isn't Growing, a podcast helping couples reignite their relationship, break free from the trap of just getting along, and rediscover the joy and passion they once had. Hi, my name is Greg Napier.
I'm Carolyn Napier.
Welcome back to another episode of Why Your Marriage Isn't Growing, the Christian couple's guide to rekindling love, faith, and connection.
The three benefits are: 1, hidden reasons your physical intimacy has disappeared beyond just being too busy. 2, a daily 15-minute ritual that rebuilds the emotional foundation for physical connection. 3, a blame-free communication framework to express intimate needs without awkwardness. If you're feeling more like roommates than lovers, you're not alone. Today's episode offers hope for couples wanting to reclaim the sacred physical connection God designed for marriage.
The sacred physical connection God designed for marriage. God designed this marriage between a woman and a man. Point number 1 on this is the hidden reasons your physical intimacy has disappeared beyond just being too busy. Now, what is that?
The hidden factors beyond busy schedules that leads to physical disconnection, unresolved conflict, emotional distance, mismatched expectation, and
unaddressed past wounds. So that's some deep-rooted wounds going down through there. And then why is that so important that we discuss all of these hidden factors?
The Song of Solomon celebrates physical love within marriage as God's gift.
Again, there's that God's gift again.
Right. When we understand the true barriers, we can address the root issues rather than the symptoms.
You can't solve a problem if you just keep skimming over it instead of just getting to the root of the thing. You got to get to the root, because if you just kill a plant on the surface, it's going to come back again. If you don't kill the root, you don't get rid of the problem. If you don't address the root in this situation, and the main thing you have to do is you have to have an honest conversation about which underlying factors might be affecting your intimacy, so you can create a safe, blame-free zone to discuss what might be creating distance. Because if you don't create a blame-free place, people are going to be, why didn't you do this? How come you didn't do it? Or why didn't you tell me about this? We've been doing this for many years, and now here you are bringing this up right now.
Let's talk about the second point: a daily 15-minute ritual that rebuilds the emotional foundation for physical connection.
What is that?
Well, it's the emotional intimacy cycle that creates safety and vulnerability, which naturally leads to physical desire and connection.
That sounds like a science project. Mm-hmm. The emotional intimacy cycle. God designed physical intimacy to flow from emotional and spiritual connections. For many spouses, particularly wives, emotional safety is a prerequisite for physical desires. Absolutely. It's a requirement, it sounds like to me, on this science project.
So what do you do?
What do we do? God, what do we do? Well, now here's where it gets to the simplicity for me. Start a daily 15-minute connection ritual. Share 3 things you're grateful for about each other. 1 struggle and 1 hope. Physical touch during this time, holding hands, builds the bridge between emotional and physical intimacy. So basically, you got to put down a strategy and carve out some time. And I can tell you, a good time would be for you is when we have date night. We could go and spend that time before we eat whatever we're going to eat. Yeah. This is something you would do Monday through Friday.
How about 7 days?
7 days. You're right. People have always told us often they can tell that there's something genuine about you and I, the way we have eye contact and the body language when we're moving about.
Well, a lot of times we have conversations
without speaking,
without talking.
We've had a lot of people tell us that.
We come out of a room, we have a whole nother conversation to talk about.
And point number 3 is the one I really like the best. It's a blame-free communication framework to express intimate need without awkwardness. It's a framework, honest, biblical conversations about physical intimacy that honors both spouses' comfort level. Notice that everything is about bringing God into the equation. Paul said why this is so important that you have some framework, because in 1 Corinthians chapter 7, he teaches mutual submission in the marriage bed. Creating a safe dialogue allows couples to honor each other's needs while growing closer.
The Apostle Paul teaches us that in marriage, neither the husband nor the wife has authority over their own body, but they yield it to each other. This is a powerful picture of the mutual submission, even in the marriage bed. It reminds us that intimacy in marriage isn't about control, it's about love, respect, and giving.
A place of unity and not selfishness. He said creating safe dialogue allows for couples to honor each other's needs while growing closer. You respecting her respecting, and y'all coming together mutually on that situation.
If you satisfy my need, I'm going to satisfy yours.
That's it. And Carolyn has helped me a lot inside of this walk with this thing called marriage. Being intimate is not just having sex. Physical intimacy is about connection, not performance. I thought it was all about performance. I was a young stud, and I came in thinking, hey, how am I going to keep this woman happy? Not knowing that all I had to do was just smile at her, hold her hand, hug her, talk to her. It's just that simple. I didn't know that. And that's the reason why we're doing what we can to enlighten you and to encourage you. This is what brings me to what do you do? Follow this. I feel when, because. I feel cherished when you take time for physical closeness because it reminds me that I am special to you. I feel when, because. See, what you got to do is you always have to keep looking for things that are going to uplift and encourage and inspire your spouse. We talk about this often, about the deposits and the withdrawals. It's a powerful thing because physical intimacy often reflects the overall health of your marriage. Because if you address the deeper issues with God's grace and wisdom, you can rediscover the joy and connection He intended for your marriage bed. God wants you to be happy. He wants you to be in your 100 and still be as happy as you were when you first started dating, when you first got married. What did that look like? What did that feel like?
Married couples have a tendency to be afraid to be vulnerable.
You know what? That's interesting. Why do you think that happens? The reason I asked that question is because we've been married for 40 years and we still have conversations. Because I told you in the beginning, I wanted you to be my friend. I want you to be my friend because after we have sex and we don't have nothing to talk about, is our relationship and marriage just going to be revolved around just having sex? What happens if you can't have sex with the person? Then what? Things are going to change over the years. The way she looked when she was in her 30s is not the same way she's going to look when she get in her 40s and 50s, and vice versa for you. So you have to have some merit to this thing. God wants you to have joy and connection in this thing, and don't let it be boring and mundane. Makes no difference. Me and Carolyn, we still keep it fresh. We ain't just saying this just to be saying this because we're on a podcast. So many marriages have become stale and stagnant. And when they become stale and stagnant, guess what? It grows. It stinks. That's why the divorce rate is so high, because you've allowed your marriage to become stale and stagnant. So let us recap. We explored the root causes of intimacy that cause a decline beyond a busy schedule. Can't just keep saying, I'm busy. We got kids. No, whatever you did to get her, that's the thing you have to keep doing to keep her.
How emotional connection creates the foundation for physical intimacy.
We learned a safe framework for expressing intimate needs without shame or blame. Create a safe zone. Don't blame the person. Just acknowledge that there's a situation that needs to be addressed, and let's create a safe zone for that so we can get a result in here.
Then we talked about physical intimacy is about connection, not performance.
Physical intimacy is about connection, not performance. And most importantly, God wants you to be connected. In closing, because we definitely don't want to close, but we got to go somewhere. So we want your input. We want your feedback. We want you to tell us if you've gotten any one takeaway from this, leave it in the comments below. Feel free to connect with us. But most importantly, we want to thank you for joining us for this important conversation. New episodes air every Monday and Thursday. So follow us wherever you're listening to make sure you don't miss our future episodes. And if today's message resonated with you, please, pretty please, share it with someone who might be struggling in their marriage. We know that people are struggling because at one point, Carolyn and I were struggling, and we didn't have nobody to reach out to because there were other marriages that were struggling, but they just didn't want to be transparent about it. So Carolyn and I had to work this out. So we're trying to make it easier for you so you don't have to strain and struggle. So with that, to God be the glory. We'll see you on the next episode.